Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kasha Stevenson, VP of Marketing here at Sierra Pacific Mortgage, and you guys are in for a treat today for Social Media University. So our topic today is content creation and video editing, but the most exciting part about this Social Media University today is our special guest. So today we've got the pleasure of Josh Pitts, founder of ShrEDIT Media, with us to talk you through all of the ins and outs of video content creation, which I know is one of the drawbacks of creating social media today. Josh, welcome. Thank you. So excited to have you today. How are you?
Oh my God. First and foremost, Kash, I thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I'm honored and humbled to hang out with you, the Sierra Pacific Mortgage team. It's just every time I get to hang out with amazing people throughout the mortgage industry, I get pumped, I get excited, and I cannot thank you and the team enough for allowing me to be here and share some of the things that we're going to, because we want to see all of our friends here that are showing up here today. We want to see them succeed. We know things have been challenging, so we're excited to help them continue to thrive and grow in this year, 2024.
I met you 2 years ago at a conference, and I have to say, you've got one of those personalities that you're just drawn to this person. And I have to, I've been following your content for years. I'm super excited to have you on the call with us today, providing your value, input, and just knowledge to everyone. So on the phone, we've got folks in the industry, real estate brokers, agents, anyone that's wanting to learn more about social media and the editing part of the video. That's I think where people just stop. They're like, wait a minute, I'll create my content, but then like, how do I put it up? And they just get, they just get frozen. So let's kick it off. So what do you want to make sure that our audience walks away with today?
Okay, there's a couple of things. First and foremost, you nailed it. There's so many people who they get overwhelmed. They get super anxious when it comes to social media, especially people are like, "Oh, I want to be successful. I want to build a business," and they start overthinking it. Because let's be honest, most of the people on here, they're probably pretty successful in their own right, whether it's mortgage, real estate, insurance, whatever your background is, and joining us on the call is you've probably experienced some type of success. And now that every industry is changing. Let's just call it as it is. And you and I both you and I know this. We're seeing it. We're starting to see the trends. Mortgage and real estate in particular, we've been behind trends. It takes us a couple of years to catch up. And social media it's been around for years. As a matter of fact, just really quick, so everybody can understand where I come from and why I'm such an advocate of social media is because my background is in mortgage. I am still a licensed mortgage professional. I don't originate anymore. I want to be very clear with that, but I do have an active license as a mortgage originator in the state of Utah. But I started as a junior loan officer. That's how I started in the industry. I saw how much this is a joke, but not at the same time. I saw the guys and gals around me, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm the junior LO, and these guys are making way more money than me. I want to be a loan officer. Hell. So I got licensed, and my very first deal came from Facebook. This was back before Facebook was a thing. I made a simple post, literally made a simple post. Just got my originator's license here in Utah. If anybody wants to buy a house, hit me up. That was it. Very simple, just a simple post. Next thing I know, one of my buddies from high school hits me up and says, "Hey, me and my wife are literally looking to buy a home, and I think we're being taken advantage of. Could you maybe just help me out?" I said, "Absolutely, I'd be honored to." So I took a look at the numbers, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are like they're screwing you guys over, like to say the least." And legally, I'm not allowed to say the company's name anymore because of some exchanges. But I'll tell you this: they have a rocket in their name, so you can figure it out from there. But so I said, "Hey, yes, I can help you out." This was my first deal. I fumbled all over. I made mistakes through this deal, but at closing day, I was sitting across from my friend and his wife, and I see tears rolling down her eyes. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I screwed up. I made a mistake. I did something that now she's crying over. And I said, I'm so sorry. What did I do? What could I have done better? She said, "No, Josh, you helped me achieve the dream of owning a home. My parents said I wouldn't be able to accomplish this for years and years. And yet I'm at the age of 20 and I'm able to buy a home with my husband. This is an amazing, I can't thank you enough." ladies and gentlemen, as mortgage professionals, as real estate professionals, as insurance, we have the opportunity to change people's lives. And the opportunity, the medium that is social media allows us to do that on a grander scale. I want all of you to be very, very clear. Is social media is not for everybody. I love all of you, but it is not for all of you all the time. Some people will push you. Yes, I will push you to get outside your comfort zone, but social media is not for everybody. It does take a little bit of work. As most of you have built a successful career in whatever industry you are in, this takes work. It is not a post today, get rich tomorrow. But with that being said, if you utilize it correctly, if you build relationships instead of just look for new sales on social media, this isn't anything new. This isn't, most of you learn these practices when it comes to the simple sales techniques. We're all about building relationships in mortgage, in real estate, in insurance, in car sales, and whatever we do. It's all about building that trust, building that respect, building that confidence in those people that we work with. And that's exactly how you have to treat social media. If you treat it as just another business building tool, and that's all you're focused on doing is getting the next deal from social media, I promise you, your community, also known as your audience or your followers, they're going to tune you out. Like, and that's the problem, is so many of us, we just start posting and we want to get a new deal out of it because, oh, you know, rates are high. Maybe your business isn't going as well as you'd hope it to be going right now. So you're looking for that next deal. If you just look for the next deal on social, people are going to see right through you. They're not going to be interested. I always tell people, when it comes to building your brand, your personal brand is just another extension of who you are. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. It is your reputation. That's how you should be looking at your brand, is an extension of your reputation. So think about it. Like, just a great example. We're coming up on summer, right? We're getting ready for summer parties. We're going to go hang out with barbecues. We've done graduations. When you walk into a summer barbecue with your friends, again, that's followers on social media, your friends, the people that we know, like, and trust. Do you walk into your barbecue and be like, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Did you guys know rates are so low right now? Can you believe what rates are doing? Hey, by the way, I have the best first-time homebuyer program out there. If you guys have any questions. No, we don't do that. We don't do that with our friends in person. Why would we ever do that on social media? We have to build that relationship, and video and social media and content is the way we get to do that. So that was a very, very long answer to your question. But what we're going to talk about today is how to get all of you to show up on video and how to show up on social media to build that trust, to build that confidence, and to build those relationships.
No, I love that. And I love how you preface that, you know, it is a marketing strategy. However, it's one that you have to be committed to. You cannot just set it and forget it. I think, are gone the days of doing that, because you have to show up, and you have to show up as your authentic self. And if you don't create that bond or relationship with your end users or followers, then there's not going to be much there. So it takes a commitment, right? And, you know, Sierra has been committed to teaching and training and hopefully getting you guys ready for it, because it's not going away. Like you know, I get my Facebook post from, like, you know how it says like 7 years ago or 10 years ago. You know, I'll get the post from like 10 years ago and I'm like, what was I thinking when I posted that? You know, and, you know, so some of the stuff could be cringeworthy. You'll learn from it, but it is not going. It's building steam, and it's just going to morph into more things. So get on the train now and, you know, follow along with us. So excited.
You bring up a couple of things right there I want to hit on that I want to make sure that they recognize what you said there. Cringeworthy. You're all going to have cringeworthy moments, and that's okay. As a matter of fact, your community expects that. They don't want to see a Steven Spielberg production. They don't want to see the next Avatar. They don't want to see an Avengers movie on social media. They come to see the real you. And just like you mentioned, that's what they're expecting. It's okay to have some, like, oh, I didn't love that video. It's okay. Post it. Like, you're going to get better every single time. That's what it takes, is get your first 100 videos out of the way. Start recording them now. And the second part of what you said, which I think is brilliant, it's never too late to start. You and I, as marketing teams, and all of you on this call, you're very lucky to have a team like us and the entire marketing team at Sierra Pacific. They're there to help you. They're there to guide you. They have resources to help you along this journey. But now more than ever, if you haven't started, or even if you have started, now's the time to start your focus, because you may not know this, but let's see. Now I'm gonna test Kaz here. Do you know what the average, or how many hours a day the average person spends on social media? Just social media.
I would probably bet more like 5 to 6 hours scrolling.
It's a lot. That's a lot. The most recent one is 2.8 hours a day. 2.8. I agree with you. That's 2.8 hours a day is the average, but I would agree. I would think, yeah. So you have some people who are doing less, some people who are doing 5 or 6, but that's just social media, ladies and gentlemen. That is not the internet anymore. That there used to be a statistic about the internet. Now it's social media. That means people are spending time on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on TikTok. They're spending time. So if you're not there showing up for them, you're missing out on a huge opportunity.
Absolutely. I love it. So let's unpack a little bit about, okay, so the importance of getting the content out there. And I love how you said you don't just walk into a barbecue and just start saying, throwing out rates are low or products or whatever. I think people are doing what's comfortable to them, and it's like if they get a flyer or if they close on a house listing, that's like the first thing that they want to post because it's comfortable for them, because picking up the camera and recording themselves is not comfortable. How do they get there?
Oh, I love that. First and foremost, you look exactly the same in person as you do on camera. I promise. If people are like, no, the camera adds 10 pounds. No, it doesn't. You're beautiful. The way that you are, the way that God created you, you're beautiful. And it's okay. If you are willing to go meet somebody face to face, which we do, that's what we do. If you're willing to do that, you should be willing to hit the record button. As a matter of fact, I love when I work with a lot of executives in the mortgage and real estate space, and they always come to me like, Josh, doesn't it just come off as like awkward? Doesn't come off as like self-aggrandizing if I'm like showing up, if like, I don't know, maybe they're going to judge me. As a matter of fact, I think it's way more arrogant or self-righteous for not showing up or having those excuses for not being on social media. Every one of us have a God-given ability and talent to change and impact people's lives every single day. And if you're stuck on the way that you look and you're withholding the knowledge and the impact that you can have on your community, that's on you. So honestly, to your question, you just need to start doing it. To this day, people are like, Josh, you're so natural on camera. You're so good at what you do. Dal, who's our chief creative officer, who's on this call, she saw me struggle. She was with me when SHRED began. I've been struggling with video. I still struggle with video to this day. Sometimes I don't love it, but I don't care. I know it's more important to be sharing a valuable message and to be sharing value with my community than to not be showing up. So to your question specifically, because we want to be very tactical on this. I don't want to just give this high level, like, hey, these are the things. So I want you today, as soon as you get off this call, I want you to record a video. Just simply record. Like, don't worry about what it sounds like. Don't worry about the lighting. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting in my RV. Is the lighting perfect? No. Is the sound perfect? No. I'm using AirPods that cost me $10, but it sounds good enough. It's going to be able to help me portray my message. You don't have to worry about those things. The message is way more important than what it looks and sounds like. Those things can come with time, and ShrEDIT, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes, can help you with some of those things. But what is the most important thing for you right now is to start hitting the record button. Perfection kills progress. Say it again. Perfection kills progress. Just hit the record button. Start recording a message. Again, I know the Sierra Pacific Mortgage team, they have great resources for you. If you don't know what to talk about on video, because you and I have heard that. Well, I don't know what to talk about. What do I say? What's the last question you got from a client? I guarantee every single one of us should have a list right next to our desk of questions that we've been asked recently from our current clients, past clients. It can be anything. If one client has a question, you can guarantee other people have the same question. You can be recording content about that. But I want to take your question a little bit further, because some of you may be uncomfortable with, again, we all know mortgage, we all know real estate, or whatever background you have. You may be very, very confident and you have a lot of knowledge and expertise, but maybe you're not ready to start talking about that. If you want to start with something you're comfortable with. Maybe it can be a hobby, it can be a skill, it can be a trait. Maybe you love gardening, and I mean this, I truly mean this. Maybe you love gardening and you're like, I could talk about gardening till the sun comes up, whatever it is. I forget the reference. But if you know gardening really well, talk about gardening. And you're like, but Josh, I want to get business. Great. Back when early on in my career, during 2012, 2013, when I was really starting to ramp up my origination business, I started a group on Facebook about mountain biking. I am an outdoors guy. I love the outdoors. I love mountain biking. I love climbing. I love hiking. I love just to be outside. Thus why I'm in an RV, and thus why I'm going on an adventure that I am. I love to be outside. So I'm like, well, I'm going to start a simple mountain bike group on Facebook, not worrying about business. I just know, like, I want to find some other cool people in Utah to do some mountain biking with. So I started a Facebook group, started posting out, hey, we're going to be doing a ride in Corner Canyon in Draper at this time. Anybody who wants to come ride, come hang out with us. Because this is what's crazy is over the next few months, this group ended up getting hundreds and then thousands of members in it, all about mountain biking. I never posted once about business. It was just all about mountain biking. There was questions being asked. There were people comment, oh, we're going here. There's other people going here. I mean, all throughout the state of Utah about mountain biking. And I was sharing ideas. Through this group, we were riding one day. And as we get to the top of this ride, we're sitting at the top of this hill, and this guy comes up to me and says, hey, you're Josh Pitts, right? You're the guy who started the group. And I'm like, yeah, man, who are you? Come to find out, this was one of the top top realtors in the state of Utah. Him and I went on to do hundreds of transactions together over the next decade. And that's how simple it was. And he didn't know what I did. He didn't even know that I was a mortgage professional. We just started talking. It had built a relationship through mountain biking that we became friends, and then we became trusted. We became, like I said, one of those teams to do hundreds of transactions together through mountain biking. So if you have something that you are just like, hey, I want to talk about gardening, I want to talk about fishing, I want to talk about knitting, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have something that you're passionate about, there are other people they're going to love what you do. They're going to love what you talk about. They're going to follow you because they're your friends. So this is a great question. And again, if you want to start with something you're comfortable with, start with a hobby or start with a skill, something you can talk about for days.
I love that because it's an easy topic, like you said, and you'll create a community without even knowing, like you just did, and you created a partnership that brought you tons of value. So you just never know. I do want to take a moment and talk about the RV because, one of the topics is like, I don't know when to create content. I'm not always in an office where it's well lit or whatever. Your story is very interesting, and I'm sure everyone on the phone is going to love to hear it. Just, you're living in an RV, but you're going to be on a boat sailing the world. Please tell the audience.
Yeah. So me and my family, it's not just me. People are like, yo, cool. You're just going to go sailing by yourself. No, my wife and two kids. I have a 12-year-old daughter, 10-year-old son. We sold our house in Park City, Utah, and we sold everything, all our belongings right now are in our RV and a little trailer we're pulling behind. And we are literally moving on to our sailboat on Monday, and we're going to set sail for an adventure around the world. And we're excited for it. We're going to be sharing the journey. You're more than welcome to follow us on the social media channels. You can follow it. Go to my social media, or it's also La Vida Shred. And we're going to be sharing our journey, the ups and the downs, homeschooling our kids through the entire adventure. So yeah, we're still going to be doing this. That's what's amazing. That's with technology. People are like, well, Josh, I can't do that. I still have to work. You can work from anywhere. As a matter of fact, one of my good friends and one of the top originators in the country, Sean, the adventure lender on all social chat platforms, the adventure lender, Sean Herrero, does business from his van. He travels the country in his van doing business. You can be anywhere. As a matter of fact, your community, your followers, the people who know, like, and trust you, they don't care where you are. As long as you're accessible, that's what's important. So yeah, we're very excited to be starting this journey, and it's going to be an adventure if nothing else.
So you're saying you can't use location as an excuse for not creating content?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think it's so much better. If any of you are familiar with Todd Bookspan is a coach within the mortgage industry. He does a great job. He does a series called Walk and Talk. He literally goes on a walk with his dog, and he shares a video while he's out walking. He has these thoughts and inspiration pop into his mind, and he records them. Is the audio always perfect? No. You hear cars in the background. You hear dogs barking in the background. Is the video always perfect? No. It's a little bumpy sometimes. Sometimes he's out of frame a little bit, but it's the message that's important. And to your question, as a matter of fact, that brings another genuine, authentic piece to your content. People see it. oh my gosh, they like to walk their dog, or they're hanging out at the park with their kids, or they're in an RV with terrible lighting. Don't let that be your excuse. Well, oh, I don't have a good place in my office, or the one I hear, and I'm sure you've heard too, oh, I don't have a studio. I've seen these other people in a studio. If you have a studio, great. Utilize it when you can. If you don't, you can be anywhere. Some of the best videos we've ever done have been from the car while we're going to the next event, or just leaving a realtor event and having great conversations. Don't let that be your excuse. And when we designed ShrEDIT the way that we did, is just use your phone. Because I know that's part of your question too, is, well, what equipment do I need? Like, what do I need? A fancy $1,000 camera? Do I need a fancy microphone? My setup right now is a $12 little a tripod that I bought from Amazon. I have an $8 light and a $12 pair of headphones. That's it. Like, you don't need anything crazy. And yeah, and that's, as I mentioned, your phone is one of the most powerful cameras ever designed. Whether it's an Apple, whether it's an Android, the technology in our phones today are just as good. You don't need to be in 4K. Forget about that. You hear people 4K. Just show up. Like, hit that record button on your phone, record a video. You can upload it to our ShrEDIT app, which we'll get into here in just a second. And it can make you look like the best of the best, make you look like a pro. But yeah, to your question, don't let that be your excuse. Oh, I don't have the studio. I don't have the equipment. You've got everything you need right now, whether it's in your pocket or sitting on your desk next to you. You've got it. And now it's time to go out and have some fun with it.
Before we go any further, I do want to throw out, if you guys have any questions for Josh while we're on the call, please throw them in the Q&A. He will more than happily answer them live. And we'll try to get to all of them. So anything about content, any about video creation, we are going to get into his amazing app, which we have test trialed, which is pretty awesome. And he's also offering a very special code for us. So I'll let you kind of tell us a little bit more about that, Josh.
Yeah, first and foremost, you and the team have been amazing. And as I mentioned, we designed and built ShrEDIT with mortgage, real estate, busy professionals in mind. Like I said, we've been there. We've had videographers on our team. We know mortgage originators, realtors who have hired teams for tens of thousands of dollars. And most of us, we don't have the budget for that. Most of us can't do that, nor do we feel comfortable. Like you mentioned, it's not comfortable having a videographer follow you around all the time. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of weird. People are like, ugh. But you have your phone. You can speak to your phone. Sure, is it the most comfortable thing right now? Maybe not, but you can get better at it. So as our team put together ShrEDIT, we had the busy entrepreneur, the busy professional in mind. So we designed it. All you need is your phone. Like, literally, you record on your phone, upload it to the app, and you literally get a dedicated, we call them ShrEDitors. Yeah, not just editors, they're ShrEDitors.
Clever.
Who, they get to know your style. They get to know the things that you like. They get to know if you like to have B-roll, if you like graphics, if you like captions. Here's another staggering statistic that, as we were putting together, we learned. Right now on social media, 86% of videos are watched without sound. That blew my mind when I heard 86% of videos are watched without sound. So that means if you're not captioning, captions are the little words that pop up that what you're saying. If you're not captioning your videos, you are missing out on hundreds of opportunities for people to see it. They might be watching a webinar about social media and they're scrolling on their phone and they can't listen to it. So they're just reading what's going on. They may be somewhere where they can't have audio on. You need to have captions on all of your videos if you're talking in them. And something that our ShrEDIT app does for you is we do that. We drop captions in, we put the emojis, we make it look like you have a full-time editing team in your pocket, because you do. And you don't have to hire a full editing team. You don't have to go to the headache of Fiverr trying to find somebody. We literally do it for the cost that no one else. Trying to find an editing team, trust me, we did it. We went there. And that's why we ended up doing it, is because we were teaching people to go and edit their own videos. We were teaching Adobe. We were teaching CapCut. We were teaching InShot. And so many people were like, this is great. This is helpful, but I just don't have the time. And I know all of you are thinking, time is money. You're a mortgage professional. You're a real estate professional. That's what you should be focused on. You shouldn't be focused on editing video. You should be focused on creating short video, creating the video, and then sending it off to an editing team so it can come back to you, so you can stay in front of your community, so you can share those impactful messages. So as mentioned, we literally said, just for this call alone, we're going to drop some links here in the chat here in just a second, so you can go and check it out. But we set up a code. If you use SPMC, we're going to drop it in the chat as well, SPMC, you can get a 25% discount on any of the plans. And that we have 3 different plans. Whether you're just getting started, whether you're a pro, or whether you're really cranking out content, we can cover you on wherever you are at in your journey. And we want to help you along this journey with video editing, or with video editing. Like I said, whether you're just getting started or whether you're a seasoned pro cranking out a piece of content a day, we want to be able to be there and establish it. Even cooler, in my opinion, let's say you see something from, maybe you see Jay. I had an amazing interview with Jay just this last week, and maybe you see a video, a piece of content that he puts out, or Gary Vaynerchuk, or Ryan Serhant, or whoever it may be. You see a piece of their content, you're like, wow, I really like that. If you want it to look like that or to be a style like that, you can actually share that to your ShrEDitor, and they'll make your videos look like that. They'll make you look like the best of the best of the best. And again, you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to worry about what's trending. You don't have to worry about all those things. Stop worrying about, again, the little things of social media, and let our team do all the heavy lifting and the hard work for you. So all you have to do is hit the record button, share a great message, and then share with that post once it's ready. All your videos come back within 48 hours of being uploaded. 48 hours. So you record it, upload it, within 48 hours, it's back to your phone, ready to post. And yeah, we could not be more excited to be with the Sierra Pacific Mortgage team, helping them show up more with content and helping with video editing.
So I have to attest, like, we've tried it, and you say 48 hours on a return. I think we got something back in 12 hours. And then our next video, we got a couple hours later. So the turn time is amazing. If you're interested in this, guys, we in the chat have put the links to whether you're an Apple or Android user, to download the app. And then the special code is going to be SPMC. So I believe you have like 3 different, like you said, memberships per se, so to try it out. And is there, do you offer any free trials?
We were offering free trials. We had to stop offering free trials due to an Apple. If any of you ever deal with Apple, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're an absolute pain in the behind. We'll just say that. We'll say that kindly. But we had to get rid of our membership or our free trial because of some complications with Apple. So we don't have a free trial anymore. But get on there and try it. And I do have a money back guarantee. I said, if you do not like the product or the quality of it, let me know and I'll refund your money in full, no questions asked. I want you to be happy. I want you to get out there and make content. So if you try it for 15 days and you're like, man, it's not working for me, hey, great, let me know. And you can even reach out to me personally, josh@shredmedia.com. If you have questions, if you have any concerns, reach out to me. I'm always here for you. I want to help you. But yeah, we're excited to be helping the Sierra Pacific Mortgage team and all of their partners here on this call to show up more. I'm telling you, and this is why we're even doing this call. Now more than ever is the time to be active on social media. And I want to add a piece of this because video and showing up and content and video editing is a piece of it. But just remember, social media is a two-way relationship. You can't just post and expect people to interact with you all the time. You have to be willing to put in the time to go interact with them. It's like any good relationship. Think of your relationship with your spouse. Whether it's good or bad is a great example. If you interact, if you have conversations with your spouse, if you're constantly listening and being there for them, that creates a good relationship. Same thing with your community on social media. You have to interact with them, go engage with their content, spend a few minutes a day just going, and don't just hit the like button. Don't just hit the heart button. Go meaningfully engage. Go be like, Kaj, thank you so much for what you shared. That was inspiring to me. That truly touched me to my core. Or maybe you shared your kid's soccer game, or they shared about their kid's soccer game. You're like, oh my gosh, my son had a great goal as well. Or, oh my gosh, my daughter lost her tournament as well. That's how you connect with people. Be willing to engage with other people's content. It just can't be about you all the time. It's got to be a give and get relationship. That is one of the most key elements of social media.
You've been watching my social, haven't you, Josh? Because you're talking about gardening, you're talking about soccer. That's like you're clever. Like
some of us do a little bit of homework and research going into call.
Good. You're so good. I do want to get to some questions, right? I promise live Q&A. We do have. It's not a question, but it's from Walter Parker. It says, Josh is awesome. Great to see you again. Haven't seen you since I left mortgage. Would love to reconnect.
Oh, look forward to it.
All right. So then we've got our, from an anonymous, our Facebook ads, still a good investment to reach if I have no followings now.
Oh, love this. Love this question. Thank you so much for anonymous putting this in here. No, Facebook ads are, I'm just going to be very, very blunt. To be very, very good with ads, you have to spend a lot of money. Organic is definitely the way to grow a following. And I'm going to be, I talk about this a lot on social media right now. You should be focused on building a community, people who know, like, and trust you. If you're trying just to run ads, again, you're trying just to run a business. And if you, especially if you don't have followers, here's a great analogy for you. Let's say in your local community, you start getting flyers and ads on your door about a local grocery store that's opening up just down the road, and they promote it. They get you all excited about it. You're so stoked about it. And you show up on opening day and you walk through the doors and everything's clean and beautiful, but there's no produce. There's no fresh vegetables. There's no fresh fruit. There's no meat. There's no fresh anything. The stocks or the shelves are bare. You're never going to come back to that grocery store. They had one shot at being able to build that trust with you, and now you're never going to show up again. It's the same thing with social media. If you're running ads and pushing people to your social media, to your profile or to your page, and there's nothing there for them, they're going to show up and be like, why am I here? Like, what? I was all excited, or I found some teaser ad, or I found some hook that people got me here, and now I have nothing. Yeah, it just is. There was a time that it was a great practice. Running ads was, especially in the mortgage and real estate, that became kind of a fad thing to run ads. But to these days, all of you, unless, and I'll eat my words, unless you are consistently posting 5 times a week, organically 5 times a week, you should never be thinking about ads. Companies, big companies, Sierra Pacific, bigger, larger corporations, there's still some ROI, some opportunity there. But for the general public, everybody listening on this call today, no, be organic. Don't worry about it. If you want to spend money on showing up, spend money on ShrEDIT, spend on something that's actually going to help you show up better for your community. But ads are just not an effective resource anymore.
Yep, I totally back that answer. And unless, like you said, you have a tall budget,
Yep.
You're probably not going to see results probably for 6 to 9 months or even longer than that. But if you don't have a following, that's going to be hard, right? Are they going to trust you?
Great point.
Okay, next question from Willie. Do you recommend shorts, longs, or combo?
Very great question, Willie. I definitely, short content is doing the best right now on social media. As a matter of fact, ShrEDIT, we focus on short form content. So everything that's uploaded to the ShrEDIT app has to be 2 minutes or less. We do that because humans, we have a very short attention span. Me in particular, with my ADHD, like, I have a very short attention span. Mm-hmm. Short form content is what's doing best. Now, Willie, you make a great point. Is long form content, and long form, the definition of long form content is anything over 2 minutes. Your Instagrams, your Facebooks, all those short form content under 2 minutes, even under 30 seconds, they're performing and doing the best because it keeps the attention of your audience. But if you want to put some long form content, so again, anything over 2 minutes in there as well, you better make sure it's a very, very good piece of content. In point and case is if you have a podcast. I have a show that we do called The Shred Show, where it's typically a 30-minute show. As I mentioned, I just had Jay on the show and had an amazing conversation with him. And it was a live conversation, so we had interaction from our community while it was live. If you do something like that, then yes, absolutely. A piece of long-form content, it can be great. But even then, I recommend taking that long-form content and chopping it up into smaller 2-minute segments, 30-second segments, minute segments, to really be able to share on the different social platforms. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even YouTube with YouTube Shorts right now, short form content is doing the best. And plus, it's much easier to make. Some people, if you try to do longer form content, and especially if you're trying to answer a mortgage question, if it's going more than 2 minutes, it's probably going to start losing the attention of whoever's listening to it. It's got to be short, precise, to the point. My favorite saying, KISS, keep it simple, superstar.
I love that. Yes. Like you said, if it's over 2 minutes, your attention span unless you're really exciting and got lots going on, it's hard to keep anybody's attention for that long. Because, like, you're on your phone and you're just, that's all it takes is for you to flick your finger and you're on to the next video. So you don't want them to flick you up and you watch the next video.
Well, and you and I have even seen, like, the best of the best content creators, people that we love and follow, like, if it starts to get too long, I like, even if it's The Rock, and I'm like, dude, I love The Rock. The dude's a baller, but if it's too long, I'm like, all right, next. Like, you lost my attention.
Absolutely. All right, we've got some more questions. Josh, if starting a new mortgage related Instagram or TikTok, how many videos or posts should you have all ready to upload at the point of launching that new page? Great question.
Ooh, really good question. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Perfection kills progress. Don't overthink the number of videos. If you're just starting a brand new page, be honest with people. Say, hey, I'm starting a brand new page. And I'm going to kind of answer two-sided with this is if you shouldn't be worried about starting another page. If you already have a personal page, I get this question a lot. Should I do a personal page or a business page? You can almost do them one and the same now, and I'm going to be very respectful of companies like Sierra Pacific, and I never go down the route when it comes to there's a lot with the CFPB and guidelines and compliance. I'm going to be very, very cautious of that because some companies like to have pages where they can track and even help and guide originators, realtors, things like that. But we have seen, especially as of late, that personal pages perform much, much better than business pages. As a matter of fact, Facebook and Meta, who owns Facebook and Instagram, they announced a couple of months ago that they were going to be very, very scrutinizing of anybody in the financial realm, which mortgage professionals, real estate professionals, especially with the NAR lawsuit, they were gonna be keeping an eye on those accounts, especially when it came to business pages. So why I bring that up and why I share it is if you're starting a new Facebook page just for your business, why not take your personal page and integrate some business into it? Now you may be saying, well, Josh, my personal page, that's for my family. That's for the weekends, my soccer games, the gardening that I do. Why wouldn't you share that with your current clients? Why wouldn't you share? You have to remember the mortgage. I'm using mortgage as an example just because that's my background. And many of you are probably mortgage professionals or real estate professionals. The real estate and the mortgage transaction in particular is an incredibly intimate relationship. Think about it. You're getting to know people's credit scores. You're getting to know their kids. You're getting to know their social security numbers. You're seeing their bank accounts, how much money they make. It is incredibly invasive. Like you get to know, and yet you're scared to share that you like gardening with people. Like keep it like it's okay to be personal. Now there's a very fine line. I'll be honest, my wife does not like to show up on social media. I live on social media. That's my thing. Like I share my kids at a certain extent on social media. It's okay to do those things. It's a very good discussion for you and your spouse to have, and even with your kids if they want to be involved with it. But it is okay if you're starting a new page, maybe just look at using your personal or whatever you have set up to start directing people to there to have those conversations. You can share business related content on your personal page. Again, you're adding value to these people's lives. So the only time I tell people to start a separate business page in particular is if it's a very, very specific business. Mortgage, real estate, all those, you're good. Like I would definitely stay. If you're opening up a sandwich shop or you're opening a new taco stand or something like that, sure, maybe a business page might come in handy. But remember, you're the brand. You're what you're trying to get. People buy into you. Sierra Pacific and that brand, that is what's helping you grow and supporting you in that growth. But you're that brand. So that's where I would focus.
Yeah, I love that answer. Yeah, and from a mortgage compliance perspective, as soon as you turn your personal and you mention your business, it's no longer personal, it's a business page. So, like you said, it can be scrutinized, but you've got a team to help support you and whatever it means. But it is your comfort level. What do you want? What do you not want to share? If you don't want to share that, and then you have that option, right? You
Yep.
just don't share it. All right. On to the next question. What about, okay, so we asked about Facebook ads. What about Instagram sponsor ads?
Same thing. Instagram sponsor ads. Yeah. I say no. As a matter of fact, Instagram sponsor ads, same thing. It's a way to try to get your videos out there. And typically it's not in front of the audience that you are wanting. And as a matter of fact, our chief creative officers, you guys can't see the comments, but they actually are hurting people right now. This is a way for Meta and Instagram to get revenue. You have to remember the goal of Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, is to keep people's attention as long as possible. And if they can get you as a business owner to think that you're getting more of that attention by spending money, of course they want you to do that. But most smaller accounts are actually being penalized because they don't have the following. This is going back to a question earlier. They don't have the following, they don't have the viewership. And if you don't have those things, it's hurting you to put ad dollars behind them. So Yeah, very good question. But just stay with organic content. Continue to put out. Again, if you're not posting regularly, then you shouldn't even be worried about ads. Actually, I want to kind of go back because I get asked this a lot, and this may be a question is, when is the best time to post? Or how many times should I be posting? Is there a magic number? Number one, there's no magic number at all. There is no magic number. Whatever you can commit to, if you can commit to posting 3 times a week, fantastic. That is a great place to start. So many people come to us and say, Josh, I want to start posting one time a day. And I'm like, great goal. How many times are you posting now? Well, I'm not posting at all. Well, then you don't want to be posting once a day. Like, you're going to burn yourself out. Social media burnout is real. Like I've seen that time and time again. You want to start with a realistic goal. It's June. We're halfway through the year. Can you believe it? Halfway through the year. All of you should take a personal inventory and say, what have you achieved so far on social media? And if you're just saying, well, this webinar is going to get me started again. This is what I'm going to be going forward. This is what I want to achieve. Great. Set a realistic goal. And if you're just getting started, 3 times a week or even 2 times a week is a great start. Like, that's getting the ball rolling. It's getting you moving. If you've got comfortable with posting 2 or 3 times a week and you want to go to 4 or 5, great. But the second part of that is, hey, when do I post? The best time to post, here's a little secret. I'm giving you, write this down. The best time to post is when you're going to post. There is no, people are like, well, Josh, what about the algorithms? What about, traffic going to this? No, the best time to post is when you post. Set a schedule. It can be Monday at 11 o'clock. It can be Wednesday at 3 p.m. It can be Saturday at midnight. Whatever it is, just when you're going to post, have that set schedule. Whether, again, if you're posting 3 times a week, you should have 3 times on your calendar those times you were going to post. You should have an hour. All you need, everybody on this call, and come at me if I'm wrong, none of you need more than an hour a week to create content for the upcoming week. Even if you're posting 5 times a week, you can get 5 pieces of content done in less than an hour. I promise. Like, we do it all the time. We can create over 10 pieces of content in an hour as a team. We write down simple ideas, we record the video, we upload it to the ShrEDIT app, and it's done. It's that simple. You should have 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour dedicated a week to create content for your upcoming week. Have it on the schedule. It should be as important as calling your past clients, calling your realtor partners, calling your whoever it is. That hour for creating content will help you drive and help you strengthen those business relationships. So make sure you have that time allotted.
So you're telling me the magic is whenever you choose, right? You
100%.
cannot be hyper-focused on algorithm, because that is something that we will never figure out, right? You could have posted today and I won't see it until Saturday. So it's just, so one thing I would say is, like, don't date yourself when you post content, because you never know when it'll show up on somebody's feed. So that's just a little tidbit there.
Great point. I love that.
Okay, we still have more questions, and I know we've got like 15 more minutes, and I don't want to leave any unanswered. So I've got one from Nick Schneider. Can we record a long video and send it to ShrEDIT and have them edit and create short edited videos for better video content?
Very good question. Yes and no. We do have a beta program where you can upload videos longer than 2 minutes. It is a little additional charge. Long form content takes more time to chop it up. I always recommend, Nick, if you have a longer form, let's say it's 6 minutes or 10 minutes or even 15 minutes, it's pretty easy to go on yourself and chop it up to 2-minute segments and then upload those into ShrEDIT that way. But if you really do want, like, hey, I'm doing 30-minute podcasts and you want help with that, message me directly, Nick. And like I said, we do have a beta program to where we do long form content. It's just a little bit of additional extra charge because it takes your editor a little bit longer time to edit that. But great question.
Awesome. Okay. Going back to community and followers, what's a good number of followers for a loan officer? Is it 500? Is it 1,000? Is it 2,000? I'm very curious your answer, because
I am so glad. Thank you so much, whoever put this question in here.
Kurt.
Shout out to my boy Kurt. The amount of followers doesn't matter. Here's a great example, and I tell people, like, right now, I think there was 90. We had like 100 people on this call. Just like, there's 89 of us in here now. Think about that. 89 people that we're talking to right now. That's a lot of people. And most of us, respectively, don't take this the wrong way. most of us would be pretty, if you stood in front of 100 people on a stage, most of you would get pretty uncomfortable. You'd be like, whoa, 100 people is a lot. I stood on stage in front of thousands of people and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's nerve wracking. People ask me all the time, Josh, how many followers do I need? How many members of my community do I need? However many you have right now, that's amazing. If you have 200 people, 200 people is a lot of people. Again, if you go to the law of averages and the numbers that somebody's buying a home every 6 years, if you do the math and you break that down, that means you should be getting at least 4 or 5 deals a month out of your current community. If you have 200 people, if you're building the right way, building relationships in the right way, that's amazing. Now, yes, let's just be 100% honest, call it as it is. Just because you have 200 followers or members in your community doesn't mean all 200 of those people are active. I always say go with the 10% rule. It's the 90-10 rule. 10% of those people are probably active, so you have 20 active followers. But here's the best part. So you're saying, Josh, I have 200 followers. That means only 20 of them are active? Yes, but you have to think about their communities as well. That's where, like I mentioned, if you start engaging with your followers in your community, you get in front of their community. If you're commenting on something Josh did or somebody in your community did, you're showing up for them. Now I'm getting into the real secret sauce here, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you start to build a community. That's where you go from 200 to 300 to 400. Let it grow organically. Please, for the love of everything that is holy, do not buy followers. I'm a great example. I'll be the first one to say we did it. We made a huge mistake. We were hitting 30, 40,000 followers organically. And we're like, hey, this is cool. It became a numbers game for us. So what did we do? We bought more followers. We thought it'd be a good idea. We're like, we got into the vanity metrics. I wanted to be 100,000. I wanted to be that guy who had 100,000 followers. Ladies and gentlemen, it wrecked our accounts. It absolutely devastated. I love when people go to my Instagram page now and they're like, this guy only has 1,100 followers. I am so proud of every 1,100 people that follow me because they're engaged, they're true, they're real people. Do not buy followers. If you have 100 people, if you have 10 people following you right now, kudos to you. Stay with those 10 people, nurture those relationships, be there for them, be authentic, be genuine, engage with them, and I promise you, your community will grow. So whether you have 200, 500, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, it does not matter. You need to start focusing on who's there already, build relationships with those people, and I promise you, and you mentioned this earlier, it's not going to happen overnight. Social media is a long-term game. It's going to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. We've been doing this for well over 7 years now. I've been on social media. Like I said, my first deal came back in 2009 when I first got started in the business from social media, and we're still learning and growing from it. So numbers is not what you should be focused on. Just focus on the people that are already there and nurture those relationships.
I love that. That would have been my response. You don't want to buy your followers because then they will not follow you, right? It's not authentic and they really don't have an invested interest in you. So love it. Well, Kurt has one other question. I think it's a really important one. How big is the sailboat?
Oh, great question. It is a 50-foot catamaran. So
wow.
Great question. So like I said, you're going to see more pictures and more videos here very, very shortly. But yeah, 50-foot catamaran.
All right, we'll have to follow you on Instagram. All right, there are two other ones in here. Does SHRED use auto caption, and do your editors review auto captions to make sure words are correct and words are not missing, etc.? So is this basically editing, right?
This is a brilliant question. And yes, we do use automated captions, but that's why we have a ShrEDitor. If you go to any automated caption service right now, especially for mortgage and real estate terminology, it misses a lot. A lot of the acronyms that we use, a lot of the different terms that we use, it does not. Auto captions are not very good. We tried them all. We've spent tens of thousands of dollars researching and putting the time into our team here at SHRED Media, at SHREDIT in particular. Auto captions are good, but they are not great. AI is improving, it's getting better. So yes, that's what your ShrEDitor does for you. They go back and they listen to every single word. They update the words, they update the acronyms. All of our professionals are trained in mortgage and in real estate and in most industries. So they know the terminology. If you're talking about, first-time home buyers, if you're talking about a reverse, if you're talking about rate buy downs, things like that, terminology that's not, like I said, kind of the norm for most people. Yes, we are listening to that. Every single one of our videos is reviewed by your ShrEDitor period. There are no videos that are missed. And again, that's where they get to know your personal style, the things that you like put in there, the little fun things that you like that go with your personality. So great question. Every single video is looked at by your ShrEDitor and is edited by them as well.
All right. I do want to do a little bit of, I guess, there's been some support questions in here. So when folks download the app, they're trying to put in the code, the discount code, and you do not put it for the organizational code. It is basically when you, after you've already submitted what account you want, and then it's in the checkout screen. So I think some
Correct.
folks are getting tripped up there. So if you have any, questions or concerns, you can email Dal, DAL, at shredmedia.com. So for any, if you guys continue having issue with that code, they've graciously offered an email address. You can reach out and Dal will help you. But it's not the organizational code. I actually did that too. And so it's the checkout. So don't put anything in there. Select what account you would like. And then it's a special code at the end. So
yeah, we're actually changing that. I'm glad we've had a lot of people ask about that. The organization code is if you're with a specific company, we actually put specific scripts and things. Yep. So it's not the organization code. It'll be on the checkout screen where you put the SPMC.
All right. One more last question in here. I know we're almost at the top of the hour. Is YouTube as relevant based on shorts being so strong on engagement?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Now we open the can of worms. What a good question to end on. YouTube, as many of you know, is the #2 search engine in the world, fastest or quickly becoming the #1 search engine in the world. YouTube is a beast in and of itself. There's so much that goes into YouTube, and there's such a large learning curve to YouTube that I will tell people, to kind of preface this, the best platform to create and post content is the platform you use most. And I mean this. If you use Facebook, start on Facebook. If you use Instagram, start on Instagram. If you use TikTok, start on TikTok. If you're a YouTuber, then you can start on YouTube. But there's so much learning to it. There's a lot more when it comes to words, when it comes to tags, there's a lot of specifics with YouTube. YouTube Shorts is starting to change the game. YouTube Shorts came out just over a year ago, and it's becoming simpler and easier to create short form content for YouTube. But there's still a lot to the game. So to this question, if you want to start on YouTube, or if you're thinking about making a jump to YouTube, reach out to us directly. There's a long conversation that needs to be had, because YouTube is such an expansive platform. I think we're going to start seeing a shift, and it start being even more simplified with the success of TikTok, with the success of Instagram and Facebook. It's the reason that YouTube came out with Shorts, is because of these platforms. So they're making it easier. But there's a very, very big learning curve. And kudos to you if you want to go after it. But like I said, especially if you're just starting this journey, people always have the argument, well, I'm just starting it. Shouldn't I just go start there and try to learn it? It's still, it's such a robust platform. It will probably frustrate 99.9% of you. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok are much easier platforms to get started on, to get familiar with. And then once you get comfortable creating content in and of itself, then you can make that jump to YouTube. But great question. Again, YouTube is just such a big platform, and there's a lot more to it than just posting content.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It's a little bit more complicated. Now, if you're starting out, let's not overcomplicate things and make it as simple as possible. So I think for our audience, an Instagram or a Facebook is probably more comfortable of a space to start. But awesome. Let me check, see if we have any additional questions. I want to make sure we don't. We do have a thank you from Chris Barr. Keep shredding, man. Love your content. As you know, have a great trip. And then Greg Turnquest says, great stuff. Thank you. Look forward to working with you and more. So we don't have any additional questions in here. I want to just kind of close it out with Josh. Any parting thoughts that you want to leave with the group?
Yeah, again, first and foremost, thank you so much to the Sierra Pacific team for allowing me to be here. Thank you for an amazing conversation. You do an amazing job with this. So kudos to you and the team for putting this on. This is truly valuable. This is when you know you have a true partner on your side, like Sierra Pacific, when they're willing to give you this type of conversation, when they're willing to provide this value on a regular basis. This isn't easy to put on, as you well know. These conversations are not easy to do. So that is what I truly look for in a valuable partner, and all of you should be incredibly gracious. Make sure you reach out to the team. Get there. They're there for your support. They're there for your help, and they can guide you along this journey as well. With that, get out there, have fun. As many of you know, what SHRED stands for: show up, hustle, repeat every day. Get after it.
Okay.
Have fun with it. Social media should be fun. If you're not having fun, it's time to take a step back. I mean this. Social media is a journey. Yes, there are ups and downs, good and bad, but have fun with this. Enjoy this journey. Make the mistakes along the way. And when you need help, be willing to reach out. Don't just quit. Reach out to those, myself, the team, who's ever there for your support. And we want to see you succeed in this journey. I promise you, you will change lives. You will impact people more than you ever thought possible. And you and your business will grow right alongside with it. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for spending the time with us. This hour has been totally valuable. And as you said, reach out to his team. If you guys have any particular questions, they're more than happy to answer. You can reach out to the marketing team here at SPM as well. And as Josh was saying, Sierra continues to offer these beneficial trainings for social media. And we're going to do one next month. So if you're a special guest, make sure you follow us on all of our social platforms. Reach out to your realtor, your broker, your loan officer. Like, we will invite you to that. And you don't want to miss it. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon.